Hello class, in this video we're going to create the gun mechanics. Here we're going to drop in these two scripts, firing gun and pickup gun, into here. Then we'll go to our models folder, and here we're going to drop in our gun model to here. Okay, and let's see if we press our first person controller here. Okay, and we'll bring our gun so we can reference the size. I think it's a bit too small, but we can change it later on. So here's our gun, and here we're going to create a material, and I'm going to say gun material, and drop in the texture and bring the texture onto the gun. Okay, and maybe we should make it bigger, so select it, and here go to 0.05. Okay, and let's drop it into our first person controller and zero out all the values, so it will be in front of our character, so we can bring it to here, and we can zero out the rotation as well, and then rotate it, let's see, 180 degree. So in the game view it should appear here. So let's see, our camera is here, so we're going to bring it up. Here we go. This is our gun, so it will be in front of the camera, and we can place it here on the side, and maybe 0.1. Okay, looks better. Okay, I'm going to actually drop it into this one, the first person character, which is the camera. So now if I play, you can see the gun is moving with the camera. Then we're going to select our gun, press F key to zoom our view on it, and we're going to go to game object, and we're going to create a spotlight. Okay, so we can see it, aim point, and we can move this aim point object to our gun, so parent it to the gun. And here's our spotlight, and we can rotate it. Here, let's try 180 degree. So you're going to face into the front, and we're going to place it here. Right, and also we're going to change the spot angle all the way down to 1, the smallest, and for the range we can do maybe 90, and intensity let's try 10, and for the color let's do red. Okay, and let's see how it looks. So if I play, we're gonna have this aim point, it's gonna follow our gun, and maybe we should rotate, bring it up a little bit. So we can select it and go to its rotation and make it up like this. Okay, looks better. So that will be the aim point of our gun. Okay. Then let's select this gun object and duplicate, and then we're going to bring it out. So we're going to drop it out, and here we're going to name it gun not in use. Okay, so for this one we're going to move it out, and also we don't need the aim point for this one, so we're going to come here and just delete the aim point for this gun. So for this gun, we're going to place it on the shelf for our player to pick up. Oops, I moved it too far. Okay, so this is for our character to pick up. So here we're going to create a trigger. So we're going to go to game object and 3D object and a cube. Okay, and I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, and also we're going to turn off mesh render, and we'll see gun pickup trigger. Okay, and check on its trigger and go to script, and we're going to use pickup gun on it. So for this trigger, we're going to go to add component and pick up gun. Okay, so for a gun on the ground, we're going to drop gun not in use on it. Okay, and for the gun which is on our character, we're going to drop it onto gun on hand. And here we also want to create a sound. Select the gun, press F key to focus my view on it, and I'm going to go to game object and create an empty. So for this one, I'm going to rename it to gun pick up sound. Okay, and I'm going to go to the sound effects folder, and I will drop the pickup sound effect here. Okay, so select the object we just created, and we're going to add a audio source. And for audio source, we're going to drop this clip on it. Okay, here is it. And then I want to attach it to my first-person controller under its camera here. Okay, and then select the gun pickup trigger. Okay, and add the gun pickup sound. We want to attach this pickup sound on it. Okay, and another thing is select this gun pickup object, the sound object, and make sure to check off the play on awake. Okay, and also check off the gun which is attached to our character. So now let's test the play. In the beginning, we don't have a gun on hand, and here let's open the door, and then we should see we have the gun on the shelf. And then as I come there, I will pick up the gun. So here we have two issues. The first issue, we get the gun too early. Let's see, right? I was here and then I get the gun. So we have to shrink the trigger a little bit. Second issue, which we also had it with the door. See, the gun is already on my hand, but I can still trigger the sound to happen. Okay, so we're gonna fix these two issues. For the first one, I'm going to select the gun pickup trigger, which is this one, and then I'm going to narrow it down and bring it closer to the shelf. Okay, and for the second issue, I can, which is the sound is keep triggering. What I can do is I can deactivate this trigger once I get the gun. So I'm going to go back to the script, pick up gun, and here I can just copy what I wrote for the trigger door open. So first we want to declare a game object which is this trigger, so I'm going to put it here. Okay, and second, on trigger enter, okay, we want to deactivate this trigger. So we're going to put it here. So once we enter the trigger, we're going to deactivate it and go to File and save this script. Alright, And then we'll go to the gun pickup trigger and go down below here. So this is a new game object we declared. For this trigger, we're going to draw it itself at here, so it'll be deactivated. And let's test play. Alright, and as you can see, now it will not repeat the sound because the trigger is already not there. It's already deactivated. Alright, now let's create a gun animation. So here we're going to temporarily show it. Press F key twice and we'll focus our view on it. Okay, so we're going to animate this this gun object, and here we're going to go to the model folder, the gun folder. Right, and okay, and here we're going to click on this button, and we're going to add a tab and add a animation tab. Okay, and with the gun selected and in the animation tab, we're going to click on create a animation. So here by default, the animation will be created in the gun folder because we have selected in project folder earlier. Okay, so for the animation's name, I want you to follow this format. So basically we're going to use the fire gun script to load the animation. Okay, and it's gonna reference the animation, play the animation gunshot enemy. Okay, so we're going to use this name and caps lock GSA. Alright, so let me come here and put the name here and save. Alright, and then press this button, so you're going to record any changes we have done. Okay, so basically for the gunshot animation, we want to position it and want to rotate it. So here we're going to go to frame 10. Okay, and I'm going to select the gun, press E key for rotation, and we're going to rotate it. As we rotate it, we have changed the value, right? The position and the rotation. As you can see, it will create the keyframes on the position channel and rotation channel, and it will also lock its original position. Okay, so we rotate in this direction, and we're going to move it up and then back. Okay, and go back to frame 10. Maybe I need a bit more. And you can go to the game tab and preview how it looks. Okay, so when it is shot, it will be like this. And then at frame 20, we'll just grab these two and Command C copy and Command V paste. So we're gonna paste it here, and then we can play the game and see how it looks. Okay, so when we shot, it will look like this, and maybe we have to change the time. So I wanted to, the second keyframe, I wanted to bring it earlier, something like this, frame 6. Okay, so the first pose will be very fast, and the second pose will be slow. And let's take a look at it again. Okay, this is more like the shot. Okay, so basically how it works is, as we create the animation, let me show you. In project folder, it will create the animation clip and the animation controller, and by default, it will apply the animation controller to our gun model. See here, right? The animation controller will be applied here. Okay. All right, so we are done with it, and then let's see. We're going to, here's the animation controller. We're going to double click on this animation controller. Okay, and this is the animation clips we have created. So by default, you're going to play this animation clip. However, we want to use a script to trigger it to play. We don't want it to play by default. So as the same as what we have done for the door animation, here we're going to create a new state, a new empty state. Okay, and here we can right click it and set it as a default state. So by default, you're going to set to this state, so it will not play any animation. and once the trigger is activated, it's going to play the gunshot animation that we have created earlier. Okay, so that's the structure. And then we're going to go back to the scene tab and select this gun. Okay, and here we can right click and actually select this first person character, which is camera on our player. So right click on it and create an empty object. So for this one, we're going to name it gun trigger. Okay, and for the gun trigger, we're going to add a script, and which is a fire gun. And if you have imported this script in my earlier video tutorial, you should be able to see it. If it is not showing up here, what you'll have to do is just go back to the script folder and drag the script I provided to here. Okay, so it will be here. Alright, so select the gun trigger and add component, add fire gun. So it'll have 5 objects. Okay, so here let me explain you the script. Let me double click on fire gun and open here. So basically here we are declaring 5 objects. So the first 4 objects, okay, here is the gun, which is the gun object we're going to apply. And why we declare it is because for this gun object, later on we're going to, once we trigger this gun to fire, you're going to grab this gun's component animator and to play the gunshot animation we have created. Okay, and then we declare 3 other objects, which is the muzzle flash, and we have 3. Okay, so let me show you how this looks. So basically we have 3 images of muzzle flash, right? So if we play them in a sequence, it's kind of like an animation, right? We don't want the muzzle flash to be just showing as one image. I want it to show as an animation in sequence. Okay, so that's why I declare 3 of them. And how it works is once we get button down, fire 1. So basically fire 1, you can just remember it. Fire 1, it means your left mouse button. Okay, in Unity by default, if you click on your mouse left button, it refers to this one, fire 1. You know, if you want to later on, if you want to have your character to hold a life and attack your enemy, you can also use this key. Alright, so as you get this one, if you click on your mouse left button, and also if this state, the bold state, is false, you're going to run this part, this script. So for this script, what we're going to do is, now firing is true. We set it as true, and first the gun is going to play the animation, right? And then here's my notes. And then also you're going to play the muzzle flash animation, the 3 images I provided. What it's going to do is, first you're going to set the first image as active and the other 2 as deactive. So that means you're going to show the first image, which is this one. Okay, and then wait after about 2 milliseconds, you're going to show the second image. The second image is true and other 2 is false. So you're going to switch to here. And then after about 2 milliseconds, you're going to show the third image, which is this one. Okay, and set other 2 as false. And then after 2 milliseconds, you're going to set all of them as false, because the gunfire is done, and we turn all of them off. And then after about 25 milliseconds, this gun, the animation component, the animator is going to play the new state, which is the, here let me show you, which is the empty state. So it will not play the animation, it will switch back to the empty state. So that means the animation is also done, it will not repeatedly to play it. And also it will check the fire state back to false. Okay, so that is the meaning of this script. So that's to say, if you want to add 5 muzzle flash, you will just have to repeat this process to add 2 more here, and for each 2 milliseconds you set 1 image as true state. Okay, alright, so here let's see, we have created the gun trigger, and we have the gun with the animation, so we can apply the gun to here. Right, now let's get the Muzzle Flash. So we're going to, let's see, we're going to go to the gun folder. We're going to drop in all the 3 images here. Okay, and I'll copy the name here, and I'll create a material, and I'll name it Muzzle Flash 01M, and I'm going to drop the texture onto it. So here I'm going to select this gun and press F key twice so I can focus my view on it, and then on it I can right click and I'm going to create a 3D object, a plane. Okay, and for this plane I'm going to name it Muzzle Flash 1. Okay, and then I'm going to move it out to here, drop it on top of the gun, and I'll place it here and rotate in this direction so we can reference here. So I put 90 degree, it'll be here, and I'll place it in front of my gun and then drag my material onto it. So here we can see the muzzle flash is there. However, we don't want the black color background, so what we can do is we'll select the material. We're going to go to the shader, and here we can change it to particles and priority additive. So this will get rid of the black color background. So it is like the screen blending mode in Photoshop. Okay, so we're going to follow this procedure to create the material for the other. Okay, so let me copy this one and to create the material for other 2 muzzle flash. So here we're going to create the material, and here I'm going to say flash 2. Okay, this one, and I'm going to drag the second texture image for it, and I'm going to set it to, where's particle? Oh, here. Set as a particle additive, and here we're going to create more 3 texture on it, and particle, and here. Okay, so now we get 3 material ready, and I'm going to come back here. So we're going to press select this image, press F. Oops. Select this image and don't want to rename it, and press F key to focus my view on it. Okay, and then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to create a light, a point light. So what this light going to do is it's going to illuminate the environment, because right now we have a muzzle flash texture, but it doesn't serve as a light. It cannot illuminate the environment as we fire. So that's why we create a point light, which is here. So here for the range, we can lower it down to about 6, and we can set the color as yellowish or orangish color. Alright, and I'll save the game. And then if I test play, and as I walk to the wall, as you can see, if I fire, right, it's going to illuminate the environment. Alright, so that's the concept, and this is the first one. And then I'm going to select this one and hit Command D to make a duplication. And I'm going to bring it up, move it here, and I'm going to change the name to Muzzle Flash 2. And I'm going to select the first one and hide it. Okay, and then for the second one, double check, make sure the point light is still with it. And then for this one, we can drag the second material onto it. As you can see, the muzzle flash has changed because this is the second image. And then Command D to make a duplication, and we're going to rename it to 3 and hide the second one now, and select the third one and apply the material. And as you can see, the muzzle flash changed again, right? So now we have 3 of them, and as you know, the image, the texture images are different, right? So we can also change the intensity of the light. So for the first point light, we can make the range as a 6 and intensity as 1, and the second point light, we can make the range as maybe about 10 because it's very bright, right? So make the range, I'll just lower it down to about 9 a little bit, and the intensity do 1.1. Okay, and for the third one, range as maybe 5, I intentionally as a 0.8, right? So we have the variety of the lights in the 3 different muzzle flash. And then I'm gonna select the third one and also hide it. Okay, and I'm gonna select the gun trigger, and I'm going to bring the muzzle flash to each of them. So now it's the gunshot sound. We're going to also select this first person controller character, which is the camera of our player. Okay, and we'll right click and we'll create an empty. So for this one, I'm going to say gunshot sound. Okay, for this one, I'm going to add a component, and I'll add a audio source, which is the audio player, right? And I'm going to go to the sound effects, and I will bring in the gunshot sound effects here, which is this one, and select the gunshot sound and bring the gunshot sound effects onto here as an audio clip. Okay, and we'll select the gun trigger again and drop the gunshot sound onto it. Alright, as we have finished all of this, and we can, oh, I forgot one thing. For a gunshot sound, make sure you turn off play on weak. Okay, and now we can test the play. Okay, so it works perfectly. Alright, so now we'll just make sure to turn off the gun which is on our character. Okay, and leave the gun in the shelf on so we can pick it up and then we can fire.